Sun's out, buns out, know what I'm talking about. As we're off to 2025, and here on the 2nd of January right now, I'm feeling very happy as the sun is coming through in the middle of the winter time. So I thought, let me share these daily laws by Robert Greene with you. I am not the strongest reader, but everything can still improve with time and practice. Even though I would like to share all these stories with you like every day, I am not going to because I do respect the writer a lot. If you want to know, go into the bookstore, look it up for you on your own, or just buy the book. Either way, the book is filled with these monthly insights. Like in January, we start with your life's task, planting the seed for mastery. In February, the ideal apprenticeship, transforming yourself, and so on, as we're going to December to say the cosmic sublime, expanding the mind to its furthest reaches. Let's just start with January. Your life's task, planting the seeds for mastery. Because Robert Greene wrote, all of us are born uniquely. This uniqueness is marked genetically in our DNA. We are a one-time phenomenon in the universe. Our exact genetic makeup has never occurred before, nor will it ever be repeated. For all of us, this uniqueness first expresses itself in childhood through certain primal inclinations. They are forces within us that come from deeper places than conscious words can express. They draw us to certain experiences and away from others. As these forces move us here or there, they influence the development of our minds in particular ways. Let us state it in the following way. At your birth, a seed is planted. That seed is your uniqueness. It wants to grow, transform itself, and flower to its full potential. It has a natural, assertive energy to it. Your life's task is to bring that seed to flower, to express your uniqueness through your work. You have a destiny to fulfill. The stronger you feel and maintain it as a force, a voice, or whatever form, the greater your chance of fulfilling this life's task and achieving mastery. The month of January is all about discovering and developing your life's task, your purpose, what you were put here to do. It's coming on, it's coming on. I have like a double tongue and stuff, but let's start. In Robert's Greene perspective. I had known from a very young age, perhaps the age of 8, that I wanted to become a writer. I had a tremendous love of books and of words. I thought at first, when I was young, that I would be a novelist, but after graduating university, I had to make a living and realized being a novelist was too impractical. And so, living in New York, I drifted into journalism as a way to at least make a living. Then one day, after several years of working as a writer or an editor, I was having lunch with a man who had just edited an article and I had written for a magazine. After downing his third martini, he finally admitted to me why he had asked me to lunch. You should seriously consider a different career, he told me. You are not writer material. Your work is too undisciplined. Your style is too bizarre. Your ideas, they're just not relatable to the average reader. Go to law school, Robert. Go to business school. Spare yourself the pain. At first, these words were like a punch in the stomach. But in the months to come, I realized something about myself. I'd entered a career that didn't suit me, and my work reflected this incompatibility. I had to get out of journalism. This realization initiated a period of wandering in my life. I traveled all across Europe. I worked every conceivable job. I did construction work in Greece, taught English in Barcelona, worked as a hotel receptionist in Paris and a tour guide in Dublin, served as a trainee for an English company making television documentaries. I tried writing novels and plays. I wandered back to Los Angeles, California, where I was born and raised. I worked in a detective agency, among other odd jobs. I entered the film business, working as an assistant to a director, as a researcher, story developer, and screenwriter. In these long years of wandering, I had totaled some 60 different jobs. By the year 1995, my parents, God bless them, were beginning to get seriously worried about their son. I was 36 years old, and I seemed lost and unstable to settle into anything. I too had moments of great doubt and even depression, but I did not really feel lost. Something inside me kept pushing and guiding me. I was searching and exploring, I was hungry for experiences, and I was continuously writing. That same year, while in Italy for yet another job, I met a man there named Joost Elvers, a packager and producer of books. One day we were walking along the quays of Venice. Joost asked me if I had any ideas for books. Suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, an idea just gushed out of me. I told Joost that I was constantly reading books on history and the stories that I read of Julius Caesar and the bourgeois, and it's not the bourgeoisie, the Borgias and Louis XIV. These were the exact same stories that I had personally witnessed with my own eyes in all my different jobs, only less bloody. People want people want power and they want to disguise this wanting of power, and so they play games. They covertly manipulate and intrigue, all the while presenting a nice, even saintly front. I would expose these games. As I was improvising this pitch to him, which would eventually become my first book, The 48 Laws of Power, I felt something click inside me. I felt this tremendous sense of excitement welling up. It felt natural. It felt like destiny. When I saw that he was excited, I became even more excited. He said that he loved the idea and that he would pay me to live while I wrote. He said that he loved the idea and that he would pay me to live while I wrote the book, and then he would try to sell it as a publisher. Oh, he would pay him to live, just to live, write the book, and yeah, write half of the book, and then he would try to sell it as a publisher, himself being the packager, designer, and producer of it. When I returned home to Los Angeles and began working on the 48 Laws, I knew that this was my one chance in life, my one avenue of escaping all the years of wandering. So I went all in. I put every single ounce of energy I had into it because either I would make this book a success or I would end up a failure in life. And I poured into this book all the lessons I had learned, all my training as a writer, all the discipline I gained from journalism, all the good and the bad experiences I had accumulated in my 60 different jobs, all the horrible bosses that I had dealt with, and my pent up excitement in writing the book could be felt by the reader and, much to my surprise, beyond and, uh, and beyond anything I'd imagined. The book had tremendous success. You wrote "and" 2 times, Robert. What? And my pent-up excitement in writing the book could be felt by the reader and, much to my excitement and beyond anything I'd imagined, the book had tremendous success. Now looking back on all this some 25 years later, I realized that that thing that was pushing and guiding me that I mentioned earlier was a sense of purpose, a sense of destiny. It was like this voice inside of me whispering, "Don't give up, keep trying, keep trying." This voice, which at first appeared to me as a child, was guiding me towards my life's task. It took many years, many experiments, many mistakes and obstacles, but it kept me advancing and oddly hopeful. And now, many books later, I remain dedicated to this task. Like every person, I still need a sense of purpose to guide me day in and day out. Each book I write has to feel like it's part of that destiny, like it was meant to happen. As this sense of purpose I've had for my whole life that became so much clearer 25 years ago is what I believe has guided me through all the hard moments in my life. And I think I could do that for anybody. And I think it could do that for anybody. Once you sense it within you, once you search for it. The real lesson here is that it took me a long time to get there, with many twists and turns, and so it can come even later in life, in your 30s or 40s or beyond. But my experience, but my existence forever changed the moment I embraced my life task. I told you, I'm not the strongest reader, but I do speak many more languages, so whatever. Okay. Hmm. Oh yeah, and the rest of the book is like January 1st, one page, January 2nd, second page. I'm not gonna show you January 1st because I can. Let's go to, let's go to January 2nd real quick. Okay, January 1st says discover your calling. You're not here for nothing. January 2nd, reconnect with your childhood obsession. When Mary Curie, the future discoverer of radium, was 4 years old, she wandered into her father's study and stood transfixed before a glass case that contained all kinds of laboratory instruments for chemistry and physics experiments. She would return to that room again and again to stare at the instruments, imagining all sorts of experiments she could conduct with these tubes and measuring devices. Years later, when she entered a real laboratory for the first time and did some experiments herself, she reconnected immediately with her childhood obsession. She knew she had found her vocation. Daily love. You were obsessed with it as a child for a reason. Reconnect with it. Ciao!